Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. I'm having a look at a puzzle called Ripple Flux by Eon, and part of the reason is that Sudoku very heavily recommended this. Now, yesterday I did a puzzle by Sudoku, which was very deliberately because today is Sudoku's birthday. Happy birthday, Sudoku. But of course I forgot to mention that during the video yesterday, so I'm mentioning it now. Sudoku, as I say, has also recommended or praised this puzzle, Ripple Flux by Eon, and we've featured Eon on the channel before. I'm looking forward to giving it a go. These lines are hybrid lines, which is always fun, and I will explain them in a moment. But first of all, today is the day, launched on Patreon, the absolutely wonderful Extra Bite by Snackdoku. Thank you so much to Panthera for curating it and gathering together 68 different constructors or constructing teams. It is a fantastic set of puzzles, and they're all 5x5. So when you hear there's 68 puzzles, you're terrified. But when you hear they're 5x5, you think, oh, well, I could certainly do some of them. Do join us on Patreon and find out how many you can do. If you can do them all, or enough to get the final message, you will be able to enter the competition and perhaps win a collaboration solve with Simon. And I think there is a new collaboration video with Simon has been created. I don't know if it's out on the channel yet as I post this, but very well done to the last winner. Gosh, yes, that's all good. And also on Patreon, crossword videos, including Simon solving some very hard listener crosswords, and then me having a go at one of them too. My very hard monthly club special crossword, the connections videos, new one up a couple of days ago. So loads going on there. We've also, of course, got SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD linked under the grid, under the video, and in the description field also you can find your way to the apps which feature line Sudoku like today and Fog of War, and all the worms which are brilliant. Thank you so much to Michael Lefkowitz and Phistomefel especially for creating the last couple that we've brought out. There are more to come in those. Do check it all out. But the first link is to Ripple Flux by Eon. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column and every 3x3 box. Lime green lines, that's the colour we have today, are region sumdex lines, which both act as a region sum line and an index line. Now, a region sum line says that the sum of the box borders divide the line into segments. So there's one here and one here, and the segments have equal sums. For different lines, that sum may be different. On an index line, this is a bit more complicated. Starting from the circle, the digit in the nth cell along the line, so this is the 5th cell along the line. If that was a 6, then that's the position along the line where the digit n appears. So in this case, n would be 5, and there's a 6 in the 5th cell, and that would mean there would be a 5 in the 6th cell. So that's how a region an index line works, and these lines are both region sum and index. I love that a grid can be created with no given digits and just 5 of these region sumdex lines, and apparently can solve uniquely. That's already a great start by Eon. Let's see if I can make a great start. Let's get cracking. So we've got that line I was looking at is 7 long. This one is long. This is probably 9. Yes, it is. This one's 8. Oh, they're all different. This is only 5, and this is 6. Right. So let's wind back and just think logically about the totals of these lines. The way that an index line works, it refers to every cell on the line as a position. And every cell on the line as a position appears on that line. And what that means is that the line, an index line, contains the digits from 1 to p, where p is the length of the line. So if you take this 7 cell line as an example, There are 7 digits on it. They're all different. They're the numbers 1 to 7. Now, if we know our triangular numbers, we immediately know the total of that line. The 7th triangular number is 28, the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. So this line adds up to 28. Well, the box border divides it into 2 segments that each add up to 14, therefore. Now, that's not very helpful on that line, but it does mean that for every line in the puzzle, we know the total and we know the end, or we know the, not the end, but the region sum. So this is 8 cells long across 2 boxes. 36 divided by 2, each segment is worth 18. This is the one I'm going to start with in a moment. So let's just look at the others first. This is 6 cells long. That adds up to 21. None of the triangular numbers, of course, are ever prime. And this one goes through 3 boxes. 21 divided by 3 means each segment adds up to 7. And this 9 cell line goes through 3 boxes as well. We know, it's a secret we occasionally share with you, that the sum of the digits from 1 to 9 is 45. So that's the sum of this line. Divide that by the 3 boxes, you get 15 in each box. And therefore we know those. Now this is the one to start with because one of the digits is all on its own in a box. The 5th triangular number, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, is 15. And if you've ever played snooker, you've seen that triangle with the triangular number 15, because that's how the red balls go in the triangle. Now, 15 divided across 3 boxes is 5 in each box, and there's only 1 digit in this box. So that's a right-in 5 to start with. And the rule about the index sum means that this is the first digit on the line, and it means the 1 goes in position 5. So we can write the 1 in there. And as we will see on these index sum lines, the digits always go in pairs that refer to each other or are self-referential. And in fact, since we know that this line piece adds up to 5, that's clearly a 4, that's in position 4 on the line, and it's the 4th digit, so it's referring to itself, it's self-referential. And therefore the other 2 digits on the line are 2 and 3. Now they could go either way round, with the 3 in the 2nd position and the 2 in the 3rd referring to each other, or both of them being self-referential with the 2 in the 2nd position and the 3 in the 3rd. So at least we get a sort of given start. Now, this 6 cell line may be the natural place to attack next, but I'm not sure if it is, because yes, we can divide the line into pairs that add up to 7, and therefore one of the pairs is a 1-6 pair, one is a 2-5 pair, and one is a 3-4 pair. Oh, this one is not 1-6 or 4-3 because they've been used in the box. So that's a 2-5 pair. And now what does this mean from the index line perspective? They'll either be, if this was a 2, what would that mean? That would be the 5th position having a 2, so the 2nd position would have to have a 5. Okay, that is possible. If this was a 5, it would be self-referential and wouldn't be referring to anything else. If this was where the 2 went, that's position 6, and that would mean the 2nd cell was a 6. So this is either a 5 or a 6, based on the 2 being here. If that was, if this was the 5, oh, that's impossible. That would say that the number 6 was in the 5th position. So it's not that. So I can do that, 2 and 5. I know what this digit is now. It's in position 2, which comes in the 6th position. Right. So now I can put a 1 here to add this up to 7, and that's self-referential. And then I'm going to have a 3, 4 here, which could have gone either way round until I see the 4 sitting there. Right, now I can do the 3 and 2 here by Sudoku. This is potentially quite straightforward so far. I'm going to look at this 8 cell line. I mean, I know the 7 comes next in length terms, but this 8 is having some things done to it. what I mean is that the digits 1 to 8 have to appear on this line. And Sudoku is telling us that the 1 and the 4 are not in those cells, so they must be across these three somewhere. Maybe more helpfully, the 2 and the 3 can't be in this group, and they can't be in that cell. So the 2 and the 3 are over here, and they must be on this segment, and we know what the segment adds up to. The line adds up to 36, divide by 2 for the two boxes. This segment adds up to 18, and it's got a 2 and a 3 in it, and the other two digits therefore add up to 13, and they're either 6, 7 or 5, 8. But let's use the positions now. These 2 and 3 occur potentially in positions 5, 6 or 8. So the third and second cell on the line are selected from the digits 5, 6 and 8. They can't be an 8, 6 pair. That would add to 14, and this would be a 3, 1 pair to make the line add up to 18, but we've had the 3 in the box. If they were an 8, 5 pair, this would be 1 and 4. Well, there is a 5 there, and that means this fifth cell must be 2 or 3. I don't know about the rest. Okay, I'm going to do Sudoku instead now. So there's a 1 there and a 1 there. That rules 1 out of these cells. The 1 in the box is in one of those two. Should I be able to finish off this line now? I can't work it out. The 1 and the 4 come in these digits. So the rest up here are from 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I didn't actually work out. What if this is 6 and 5? Then that's 11, and these two will add up to 7. Oh, but they couldn't be 6, 1, 2, 5, or 3, 4. Ah, that's great. Okay, so this can't be 6, 5. It must be 8, 5. And these two are 1 and 4, and we know where the 1 goes. Oh, I mean, this is good. This is good. We're off. Now, these 4 are obviously 2, 3, 6, 7, and that can't be 2 or 3. Now, we've got a 4 in the first position and a 1 in the fourth. They refer to each other. We've got 5 and 8 in the second and third positions. That's here and here. So these two are the 2, 3 pair. This digit is therefore 6 or 7, and 6 and 7 are in the 6th and 7th positions, either referring to each other or self-referential. Now, remaining digits in this box are 6, 7, and 9, which hasn't appeared anywhere in our thoughts yet. The 9 is in one of those cells, so the 9 in this box is in one of those, and the 9... No, hang on, I've got this wrong. It's a 6 that's in one of those cells, not a 9. Okay, I'm going to have to move on to the other lines. I'm thinking more about the 9 line because we've had some digits removed from possibility here. 5, 4, and 3 can't be on this segment of the line, but it must add up to 15. So, how many of the low digits 1 and 2? We can't have both of them because then 1 plus 2 would leave the third digit being a 12. If we had neither of them, the digits we'd be using would be 6, 7, and 8, or higher digits. We can't get to 15 from that. So we're using one of the digits 1 and 2 here. If we're using a 1, the other two digits are either 6, 8, or 5, 9, which is impossible. So 1, 6, 8 is one plausible grouping. The other possibility is that we use 2 and a pair of digits that add up to 13, which can't use a 4 or a 5 and must be 2, 6, 7. This is either 2, 6, 7 or 1, 6, 8, and there's definitely a 6 in use. Now, what does that do for the indexing? It's either referring, if it's 2, 6, 7, the cells it's referring to are these ones, where 1, 2, and 3 would have to go. Or if it's 168, then the cells we're looking at are these ones where 1, 2 and 3 would have to go. This digit would see 2 and 3 and would have to be the 1. Okay, in either case, whether it's those 3 cells or these 3 cells, 1, 2 and 3 see all of these digits and they can't have 1, 2 or 3 in, or 6. And the 3 in the box must now be in one of those 2 cells, and the 3 in row 6 is now in one of those 3. Yeah, I don't quite know what to do with that. And this was the only line segment where I really had any Sudoku stuff going on, so I'm going to have to think a bit more outside the box next. Okay, we've got line segments of 15. If this was 168, then the 9, okay, the 9, there is a 9 somewhere on this line going with a pair that add up to 6. So if this is 168, that pair is a 42. So then one of the segments is 942, and the third one is 753. If, on the other hand, this is 267, then the 9 is in a 159 group, and the other line is 348. So I can know all that, but not really what I'm doing with it. I'm going to just notate a 5 up here. These are from 1, 4, 8, 9. 3 in this row has to be there. That doesn't affect this stuff, does it? If this is 267, the 1 must go there. And if it's 267, the cells it's referring to that have to be 1, 2 and 3 are here. This would have to be the 1. So if this is 168, does this have to be a 1? I thought that's what I thought earlier. So if this is a 168 segment adding up to 15, the digits 1, 2 and 3 then go into these cells. But this one couldn't be 2 or 3, so it would be a 1. So if this is 168, this is a 1. If this is 267, I'm looking at those cells for containing 1, 2, 3. And this one is a 2. So either this is a 1 or that's a 2. I don't know if that tells me this isn't 1 or 2. I can't quite understand that. Sorry, I'm being a bit dense now. I'm going to have to look at the 7-cell line. So the portions on the 7-cell line, which sums to 28, add up to 14. And one of them contains an 8. I suppose it could be this one, 8, 1, 2, 3. No, none of them contain an 8. It's a 7-strength line. So one of them contains a 7. If it's this bit, that's 1, 2, 4, 7. And this would have to be 3, 5, 6, running in the specific order 6, 5, 3. Now, does that work? Do you know what? I think it does. Because 6 here is putting a 1 in that cell. 5 here is putting a 2 there. 3 there is self-referential. Oh, there might be an effect up here. 6 would make this a 7, which would make this a 6. That's not actually helpful. 5, 3 there would make that a 2, which would make that an 8. This would become a 5, and that would become a 3. Yeah, I don't know how that goes either. Ha! Oh dear. Okay, I don't know what to do. I'm getting very confused now, as index sum lines have a propensity to do to me. If 7 was here, so I thought about if 7 was down here, it would have to be with 1, 2, 4. If 7 was here on a line adding up to 14, the other two cells would add up to 7. That's just not helpful. There's so many possibilities. Oh, Mark, why don't you understand anything? 4, 5, 3. How do we disambiguate these lines? I'm going to have to think about the 9 cell one. Maybe there's some digit that's difficult. Well, there's a lot of digits that can't be 1, 2, and 3 because of the two possibilities here. We're either looking at, well, this is 1, 2, or 3 because one of these is a 6. That's interesting. So, yeah, so it's not 1. That is 2 or 3. And then the other digits from 1, 2, and 3 are either in one of these cells or one of these. Yes, the digit 4 can never be a 1 or a 2 because 4 is not a candidate here. Of course, right. And these digits can't be from 1, 2, 3 either. The digits from 1, 2, 3 are 1 there, and 1 here. So this one isn't either. We know that 6 on the line is down here somewhere. This is 1, 6, 8 or 2, 6, 7. And the 9 on the line is either in a 9, 5, 1 group or a 9, 4, 2 group. Now if it was down here, this would be a 9, 4, 2 group because of this. And what would that require? That would require that the 2nd, 4th and 9th cells on the line were the digits 2, 4, 9. If there is a 9, 5, 1 group on the line, it has to be in this tail end segment because it can't be here and it can't be here. And that 9, 5, 1 group would be referring to positions, to the numbers 7, 8 and 9 and putting them in these cells. Yeah, I'm not managing to rule anything out at all here at the moment. Okay, here's a thought. I was wondering about 7 being on this segment of the 7 cell line and going, oh, there's so many possibilities. But one of those possibilities is 7, 6, 1, in which case the 6, 1 here would mean that was 7. The 6 marking would mean that was a 6, and this would be a 1, and that would be impossible because that's the 3rd position. It would be saying 1 was there. So 7, 6, 1 is ruled out. How about 7, 4, 3? This would have to be the 3 because 3 is in one of these positions. That would be the 7, and that would be the 4. Which would put 2 here and 1 here. Okay, that does work. 7, 2, 5 would be referring to positions there, there, and there for the digits 1, 2, 3. So that would be the 2 again. And if 7 was down here, these would be 3, 5, 6. And that would be a 5. So if this is 7, 2, 5, this is a 2. If it can't be 7, 1, 6. If it's 7, 3, 4, this is a 4 or a 7. That's not quite informative enough, is it? This digit can't be a 1 because that can't be a 4. So 1's in one of these cells, given those 1's. I mean, this is nothing, but I have to think of something to do, and I'm really struggling a bit here, if I'm honest. These are positions 7 and 8. If one of them is a 3, that means this is 7 or 8, which is perfectly fine. Actually, I could go on pencil marking 1's. There's a 1 in one of those cells and a 1 in one of these. Is it the very fact that these digits must contain 1 to 7? Is that interesting? And 8 and 9 aren't on this line anywhere. 8 and 9 in the final column are a bit confined. No, I don't think that's how we do this. But I don't know what is. Oh, that's a very annoying alarm sound. 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, and 6. This is 7, 8, or 9 because of the bar markings here. 1 is somewhere here. This is not going to get anything done. I have to think about the lines, but I don't know what I meant to think about the lines. Right, let's go back to this being a 9, 4, 2 set. That would be 2. This would have to be 9, and that would be 4, which would make this a 6. Right, 9, 4, 2 here would make this 1, 6, 8, and the tail end 3, 5, 7. But the 9 that goes here would make that the 5, and this would be a 7, 3 pair. 7, 3 there, 1, 6, 8 here. This isn't allowed to be a 9. So it would be 2, 4, or 5. Oh, where's 9 in this row? This is a slightly relevant question. It can't be here or here because that would put a 7 or 8 in position 9, and this segment would add up to more than 15. It also can't be here because there is no 9 on this line, so the 9 in the row has to be in one of those two cells. I don't know, it's very obvious in a way, but I hadn't seen it and I don't quite know how it matters. But it might matter. Okay, I'm thinking about this. 753 is one possibility. If that's 942, this has to be 753. But the other alternative is that 9 is in this group, in which case now it has to be here. So this is either a 357, with that digit being the 5 or the 7, or there's a 9 in it, which is definitely here. So this digit is now 5, 7, or 9. Which is making the 9 on the line either here, here, or here. Well, the 9 can't be here, because 9 plus 7 would appear on the line and would bust it. So that digit is now 5 or 9. The 9 on the line is in one of these two places. If this is a 5, the 9 is here with a 2 and a 4. But otherwise this is the 9, and these two then add up to 6. The 9 would be self-referential then. These two would add up to 6 and would be 1, 5 or 2, 4. And their positions 7 and 8. Well, this would be 2 or 5 in that scenario. So if that's what? something here didn't work. Well, which possibility was it? So I was saying if this was a 9, this would either be 5, 1, putting 7 and 8 into those two cells. Now that's plausible. Or 2, 4, putting 7 and 8 into those two cells. Okay, those scenarios are both plausible. So let's go back to this being a 5 with this being 7, 3. Now the third cell would have to be an 8 therefore, so that would be the 3. So this can never be a 3 anymore. Five, 3, 7 would also be trying to put a 7 there, and 9, 3 would require a 3 here. That's no good. Okay, so 3 is either there with 8 here, or it's there and self-referential on the other line. Now, if that's a 9, so if it's a 5, that's a 9, this is 9, 4, 2, that has to be 5, 3, 7. So then we get a 3 there and a 7 here. If it's 9, this pair is either 1, 5 or 2, 4, and I have not managed to rule out any of those. I was going to get excited about 8 in the row because it can't be there, but that is unexciting. Right, let's do it again. 5, 1 there. Actually, that would put 5 here and 1 there. 5, 1. And it would be putting 7 and 8 in these two cells. Oh, that wouldn't work because this digit would see 7 and 8 and it couldn't be 5 if 5, 1 were over here. This digit would become impossible. So the 5, 1 pair here doesn't work. Right, well we're down to two possibilities. One is 9 with a 2, 4 pair, which is putting 7 and 8 there, no, there and there. So this digit now couldn't be 7 or 8 or 2 or 4. It would be 5 or 9. Okay, so that possibility does seem to work. And 5, 3, 7 makes 9, 8, 7 out of those cells. That does seem to work. And 9 here would put 2 there, making this a 6. 4 here, making that a 1. All of these would add up fine. So the alternative is 5, 3, 7. And that puts 9. Oh no, that's what I was looking at. Oh, hang on. 5, 3, 7 makes this 9, 2, 4. 5, 3. That puts 8 here, doesn't it? So these would be 6, 1. That 6 would put a 2 here. And this would be 9, and that would be a self-referential 4. Okay, so I'm going to mark up these cells. If this goes 5, 3, 7, this goes 2, 9, 4 down here. If this goes 9, 2, 4, well, we don't know the order, but we do know that those two positions are the 7, 8 positions. And what else do we know? That would be 7 or 8, going with 2 or 3. 9, 2, 4. 7 and 8 in those cells. And therefore this would be the 1. Oh, so 7 would no longer be possible here, because we'd have a 1 in this sum, because that couldn't be 2. Right. So if this goes 5, 3, 7, this is 1, 6, 8, this is 4, 2, 9. I thought that's what I'd marked first. If this goes 9, 2, 4, then there's no 2 here. There's never a 2 here. That has taken me a long time to work out, and it's not probably that complicated. I've worked out before that this couldn't be 915. Fine. And it was because of this cell. If it was 924, that's not a 2 by Sudoku. But if alternatively this is 537, that digit is a 2. So this is never a 2 on the line. Gosh, okay, I'm taking those markings out. I'm saying this can't be 2 now, and this must be a 168 segment with the 1 here, self-referential. There's also going to be a 1 up there somewhere. I bet that's going to end up being self-referential. Never mind about that. Let's take 8 out of those cells. This is 168. 6 and 8 are in positions, they are 2 and 3 in those two positions. So neither of them is a 4. So this either goes 9, 2, 4 or 5, 3, 7. So I'm taking 2 out of there as well. Okay, that's taken me an awful long time, and it's probably not that complicated. But you do what you can do. I can place 2 in box 4 now, there. That's a 7-9 pair. I'm taking 6 corner marker out. This digit at the top can't be an 8. It is now a naked 6. And that gives me 7 there and 6 here. That keeps 6 out of that cell. One of these might be interesting in a moment. These are from 7, 8, 9. But they must include 7, so that's not a 7. Down here I've got 4, 5, 8. It shouldn't take me this long to see this, but I don't find this easy at all. Right, 1 is self-referential. 6 and 8 are putting 2 and 3 there. And that stops this digit being 2 or 3. It's also now not 7. It's in position 4 on this line. 2, 3 and 7 are impossible. 1, 4, 5 or 6 are the only possibles. And now, let's see if we've achieved anything. And I think the possibilities are fairly slim, but with this line, 6, if 6 comes down here, oh look, this is a 4, 5, 7, 9 quad. This digit is 2 or 3. I had not seen that. I've got a 2, 3 pair and a 6 looking at this final cell. But what I was really thinking about was if this was a 6, which is possible, it puts a 1 there, which is fine. But this group has to add up to 14 then. 6, 6, 2 is not allowed. It would have to go 6, 5, 3. Putting a 2 there and a 1 there, 4 here and 7 there. And that 7 would be wrong, because this would be a 6. No, that 7 would be self-referential. Hang on. 6, 5, 3. And that would then be 9, 2, 4. That would work. 6, 5, 3. 1, 2, 4 and 7 would both be self-referential. Okay, that definitely does work if this is 6. Oh, by the way, this now sees 4, 5, a 2, 3 pair and 7. This is either 1 or 6. If it's a 1, how am I going to get this group to add up to 14? No way. That's only 2 or 3. This is a 6. Right, that's a 1. Oh, this is such a relief. Okay, this now has to be 6, 5, 3 to add up to the 14. That pencil marking is bogus, whatever. I don't know why I did that. 6, 5, 3, 1, 2, 4 and 7. And the 5 is saying where the 2 is. And that now has to be 4 by Sudoku, and that's the 7. And that line is done. And this one is going to be done as well, because that's a 9 going with 2 and 4. That puts... No, it doesn't. That makes this a 3 on the line, which makes this a 6. And that 8 is referring to 2. 4 is referring to 7 there. 5 is self-referential. We have a 753 group. Now I'm surely going to be able to finish the puzzle, but my goodness, that's wrecked me. I am such a numpty sometimes, I know. But I found this very difficult to see one's way through. Now, those don't have 7 or 4 in, so let's just be cautious with the rest. That's a 7 now. That's 8, that's 4. 6, 1, 4, 5, 7, 9, 8, 3, 2. 1 and 7 here, that's straightforward. In this column we need a 3, and then we can place 8 and 5. That makes this a 9. 8, 7 are all done there. This is a 9. Oh, I mean, this is straightforward now. Thank goodness. It's very neat though, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with this. No wonder Sudoku liked it. Happy birthday, Sudoku. And no wonder Eon created it. Well done, Eon. This is 1, 2, 7. I can put the 7 in already. This is 3, 6, 9. I can put the 3 in already. That has become a 9, and that's going to help, I think. No, 6, 8 pair there. These don't have a 5 in. What's this? 4, 1 and 4. So I can do those. Then I can do 2 and 1. Then I can do 2 and 9. Then I can do 6 and 9. Then I can do 8 and 9. I can now do 6 and 5, and also 6 and 8. If I could type, I could do them. Then I've got 4, 8, 5, and there we go. Ripple Flux completed. Lovely puzzle. Very clever stuff. Sumdex lines, welcome to them. And thank you, Eon. Happy birthday, Sudoku, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.